Come on, man. It's a state of stupidity.
It's a state of stupidity.
State of stupidity.
That's just a state of stupidity.
State of stupidity.
I believe it's a state of stupidity.
They want you to believe it's a state of stupidity.
I told him. I said it's a state of stupidity.
Welcome to episode 6 of the State of Stupidity. We're back, and this week we'd like to first touch base by touching on last week's topic. There was a development in the CISA case. On Tuesday, a federal judge ruled that it was no longer allowed for the Biden administration to contact any social media companies over content containing protected free speech. Now, the listed agencies on this article include Health and Human Services, National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Census Bureau, the FBI, the Justice Department, the Department of Homeland Security, and the State Department. Now, it seems like on surface value, they are trying to take steps to change what was put in place. But there does seem to be a key group missing in that list there. The CIA. I mean, if you're going to list all those government agencies that want to have control over social media, the CIA is number one. So if they still have access, then this is a nothing burger where the CIA will get the information and then disseminate it to the rest of them.
Well, one way or the other, they're going to try to work their way around the system anyways.
Always.
I was looking at a CNN report. Legal experts say that the order is overly broad, and scholars of online misinformation warn that it could have a chilling effect on the government's efforts to curtail lies about public health emergencies and elections. So it's going to curtail lies. How about the lies of the Hunter Biden story was nothing?
Right.
What about those lies?
And then here we are 3 years later, and it turns out there was a lot of truth to that.
Absolutely.
And what about the Russian collusion shit?
Exactly.
Their lies were
What about those
okay.
lies? Those lies were fine. So they're only of course, CNN's a leftist
right
news agency. Of course, that's politically always looks towards the Democrats and tries to help them out. So it's kind of amazing how they're worried about election lies, but they're not worried about the lies they're telling.
Rules for me, rules for thee, not for me.
Exactly.
That applies across the board, even from the politicians run the media in a roundabout way at a certain level of things. I mean, it's all state-funded propaganda when you look at it. Look at last week. We had a round of Supreme Court rulings where it really looks like they're trying to rile shit up. I mean, it's all common sense rulings that when you break it down, which we're going to get into this, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first one of the, let's talk about college tuition first. They told Biden you can't eliminate student debt. Well, no kidding. Only Congress can do that.
Right.
But of course, he wants to try what I love about Biden is he's the biggest. I think he's one of almost the biggest hypocrite as a president there is. In 1978, he supported a bill called the Middle Income Student Assistance Act. It removed restrictions on income to qualify students for loans.
Okay.
They knew that they couldn't ever pay back.
Right.
So in 1978, he pretty much set up low-income and middle-income families to fail.
Okay.
He forced banks to give them loans knowing they'd never be able to pay them back.
And now this was just the education side of things.
That was the education side. And so in just 12 years, student borrowing went from $2 billion to $12 billion.
Really?
Under that started with that law.
Well, that sounds like it's good for business, though.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, because guess what Biden did in 2005?
What's that?
He supported a bill that prevented the borrowers from eliminating the student debt by bankruptcy.
Oh, so what he was trying to do now, back then, not even 20 years ago, he was trying to prevent.
What do you mean?
He's
preventing, exactly.
He's
trying. So he gave these low and middle income families loans that they knew they could never pay back.
Yeah.
Then he takes the rug, he pulls the rug right out from underneath him and doesn't allow him to declare bankruptcy to get rid of the debt.
Right.
But now he wants to help them get rid of the debt.
Yeah. Now that it makes it...
Isn't that counterproductive?
Well, I mean, it is, but when you factor in the fact that he's trying to run again in 2024, and he is, like, among the most hated people in the world right now, I mean, it would make sense for him to try anything, grasping at straws.
Well, if you look at... But the other thing you got to look at is back in 2005 when this was all going on, guess where most of the lenders were?
Where?
In Delaware.
Oh. His home state.
Good old Biden's home state, exactly. Yeah. So, if you want to fix, my whole thing on it is, if you want to fix the actual, to lower the tuition, why don't we give people a useful degree that they can actually pay off the loans with? Right. Why don't we give them, when they get out of college and they spend 4 or 5 years or 8 years there, why don't we give them something where they can actually go to school or maybe go get a job after they're done school?
And
instead, 47% of college graduates right now are doing a job that was, the degree they paid to get. Now, 47% of all college graduates
are doing what they paid
for,
or what they're paying for.
Exactly
what they're paying.
The other
for.
53% aren't doing that.
Right.
The other 53% are in a totally different field.
Okay.
So what does that tell you? What are the chances that 53% paying back $100,000 or $200,000 college loan?
Slim to none.
Where you can't declare bankruptcy, but you can declare bankruptcy and write off a car. You can write off $100,000 in credit card debt.
Companies. There's whole companies
that
they file for bankruptcy and then they just change their name and then all of a sudden they're back again.
Listen,
to run another thing into the ground.
There's whole businesses where you start a business, you get a bunch of credit cards, you max them out, and you bankrupt the business, and it's completely legal. But you can go to college. Yeah. The college does a predatory loan on you, knowing you can never pay it back. Yeah. And you can't get out of that by way of bankruptcy thanks to Biden's support of this law in 2005. Okay. Don't you think that's a little shady? For somebody that's worried about the low and middle income families, it sounds to me like he's burying them.
But that's just it, is on the surface. Like, he is of the mindset where he says one thing, but it's the literal opposite.
Well, he's just a political chameleon.
Right.
He changes his color depending on what he's gonna what's gonna get him elected again.
Exactly.
And the people are too dumb to realize what's going on.
Well, it's not that they're too dumb. It's that they're too distracted by everything else going on. It's that they're distracted just trying to make do and just trying to live each day. The problem is that they have control of systems that they should have never gotten control of. They put the systems in place, and then they created this perpetual motion machine, and then the second it's suited their needs, then the light gets shown on it and they want to do something about it. Like, look at with the whole CISA thing. It was, now that we're showing, now we're going to do something about it.
Oh, they still don't want to do anything about it.
Right.
No, they're going to.
But they have to. They're being forced to the more they show to the light.
They're appealing that, so they're not done with that yet.
No, they're not. Well, I mean.
But, if you really care about these low and middle income families, why would you put them into a 4 to 8 year college? Knowing that they're not going to be able to pay the debt back, and knowing there's a 53% chance they're not going to have a job in the field that they went to school for.
Right.
When you could send these same families to a 1 or 2 year trade school that needs there's tons of different trade schools out there. Yeah. And these people are getting jobs left, right, and center. Well, and the college tuition, you know why? Because the college tuition is a fraction of the cost. Yeah. And they aren't loaning the money out as easily.
Right. But it plays into the fact that the work ethic, they killed the work ethic as well. I mean, over the course of decades, they made it more desirable to get into their welfare systems than to actually put a little strain on yourself to exert a little bit of effort into becoming something.
Well, I mean, you always have them people, but there's still a lot of people that want to work and want to make themselves better.
Well,
but you're even hurting them by sending them to college. Right. Everybody's idea of how to get ahead is to go to college.
Well, it is, but if you play into the indoctrination
which
machine,
is what they do, though.
that's what they have a majority of people doing. But there are systems and things that are popping up. There's counter for every system that there is. A counter system will find its way. You know what I mean? The people find a way to go against the systems that are already in place. There is a steer towards homeschooling as a way of.
Yeah, the problem with homeschooling is I'm not a fan of homeschooling.
Well, it depends on the parent that's doing the school.
And let's face it, most of them aren't qualified to do it.
Right.
So that's why I'm not really. And the other problem is the kid doesn't grow up around other kids, so they have no idea how to blend into society.
There is a with the technology that we have, there is a way that it can be done in a better way than isolating the kid, where you keep them in the house and they've only seen the same
that's
four
exactly
walls.
what happens, though.
Well, it is, but
So
I mean that's
why I'm not a fan of it. I mean,
Yeah.
you need to go to school, but you need to go to school to learn and not to get indoctrinated. So
yeah.
that's what's got to change. And I mean, luckily, there's a lot of parents that are standing up and pushing for that change.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you have all those moms for liberty or whatnot that are causing a ruckus on PTAs and
exactly.
such. Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't want you to care about your kids.
Right.
They want you to
push them off to
Exactly.
them, give them to them for 8 hours,
Yeah.
let them warp their fucking heads.
Exactly.
And then when they come back and all of a sudden they don't want to talk to you or interact with you, and there's tension at home because now all of a sudden the kids aren't in line with the morals and values that they were being raised on.
Yep, exactly. It's a huge problem going on. It seems like we got some traction, heading it in the right direction, getting these schools to teach what they need to teach and not indoctrinate. Don't worry about indoctrinating kids. Worry about teaching them.
Yeah. Well,
give them a quality education.
But the quality of education can be brought into question when
that's true too.
It is what are we teaching them? Why are we teaching them what we're teaching them? I mean, history is bullshit. The state textbooks that we give the kids are written by the fucking government who have a narrative.
It's so ridiculous.
The upper, lower, middle class, calling it that is fucked right out the gate. There is no fucking upper, lower, middle class. Everybody's the fucking same. So right there, trying to fucking put people into those names, like putting them into those groupings right there, well, that's where things started to change. Remember the Wall Street shit? That shit started, they stopped that shit, and they started racist shit. We were going after the banks. We were going after the class warfare, and they diverted our fucking attention to this fake racist bullshit.
Oh yeah, well that's what they always do. They want the lower, they call it the lower class, the middle class, like you said, but they want that because then they can segregate in their groups and pit one against the other, like they always do.
Absolutely,
and the same thing with the racism or the LGBTQ plus.
Well, two groups right there also had Supreme Court decisions last week leveled against them. Affirmative action. What did we learn about affirmative action over the course of years?
That's what I've known that for years.
Fucking racist.
If it's not racist, I don't know what is. You're getting into college based on your race. What's not racist about that? It's right in the name. I mean, it's completely ridiculous. And then you have these LGBTQs going after this. This case was all around a website development.
Okay.
So they were going after them, trying to force them to build them a website when the owner of the website building company, I guess, it was against their religion to, they don't agree with the LGBTQ community.
Right. And
my whole thing is, what these guys did, what this community do. They went and looked for somebody that they knew would be an issue.
Yeah.
And let's try to make these people build a website for us.
Right.
What my question is.
Seek out drama.
Exactly.
Seek out a problem and then try and get
if somebody
your voice heard.
if somebody doesn't agree with you, why would you want to spend money with them anyways?
Right? Take your money and use it where it counts.
Exactly. I mean, what if, that same guy decided, you know what? I want to make a website that says anybody that's LGBTQ is a piece of shit, garbage, scum of the earth, and I want to build that website. I want them to write that on there.
Yeah.
What do you think the LGBT community that owns that website company is going to say? We ain't building that website because we don't believe in that bullshit.
Exactly.
So what, now we can sue them because we purposely went there and found something they didn't like and we're going to make them do it? That's bullshit.
Right.
spend money with the people that support you.
Exactly.
Focus on that, and you'll have a better life, or you'll be a better person.
Build a better community.
Exactly. Instead of having, instead of doing this and creating all this drama for nothing, wasting all this time. And then they had I was watching the other day, they were having a big rally over this, the Supreme Court's this, the Supreme Court's that. Now the Supreme Court ruled what the Constitution says. You can't make somebody do something. You can't make somebody violate their First Amendment right.
Right.
They're not going to make you do it, and they're not going to make them do it.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I guarantee you have some lunatic go down there to some LGBTQ website developer and have them build some crazy website that's anti-LGBTQ.
Absolutely.
You know it's going to happen.
Look, the internet loves to take shit like that and run with it.
And that's what they'll do. I mean,
they turn shit like that into memes nonstop.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just listen. Focus on people that care about you and want to promote your interests. Don't focus on people that don't care about you.
Absolutely.
Because you're going to go nowhere.
No.
All you're going to do is have a lot of broken hearts at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
And then with the affirmative action, I mean, that right there, you've got guys who have no right putting their 2 fucking cents into it anymore, still trying to beat the drums because their pockets are still being lined.
Absolutely. Well, they're already trying to work. They're doing some kind of workarounds already for this.
Well, they're trying to go after Harvard for legacy. They're trying to change the wording, and now they want to go after legacy admissions.
But if you look at California, banned this affirmative action years ago.
Right.
One of the most liberal states banned it because they knew it was racist.
Exactly.
They don't want to admit that, but that's why they did it.
Well, but see, the problem with fucking California is, now, they also, the weaponization of the court systems is fucked. Because back in 2015, there was a case against Planned Parenthood for selling aborted baby parts. Okay. Aborted baby fetuses were being ripped apart and their organs were being sold to the highest bidder. There was literal documented video footage of the fucking heads of these organizations like communicating this to potential customers, and it was just swept under the rug basically. And then Planned Parenthood turned around and tried to fucking sue the people who exposed them. And in doing so, because they had, the people who exposed them had to create a fake company to be able to get time with them, to get them on film doing this shit.
Sounds complicated, but
hey, when you're trying to get shady people to do, they created a fake company. So I guess in California, that's somehow illegal or something, where they went to, they kept going around. They got a San Francisco judge, of course, fucking one of the most liberal problem cities in the fucking world. And they got a judge from San Francisco to agree to a $4 million lawsuit that these people have to pay to Planned Parenthood for this shit. Now, it's going through appeals and shit like that. Now, it's gotten its way all the way to the Supreme Court, where it needs 4 judges in the Supreme Court to say, we'll look at it, so they'll actually fucking take the case to try and help these people not have to pay for exposing some of the most heinous and disgusting shit in our world.
So if that's the case, I mean, that sounds like there's a lot. I guarantee there's a lot of government agencies that create bogus companies to catch people all the time. So that means they can sue them? Is that how it works?
Look at the Panama Papers.
Remember
the Panama Papers?
Yeah, I mean, look at
how many fucking places were being run out of one place that only had like 16 rooms in it.
Listen, there's California. I think California and Nevada are two of the biggest states where you can incorporate all these companies and rip people off and get away with it.
Right.
I mean, there's a company in California I know right now that is scamming people over bot trades.
Really?
Oh yeah, they got actually a couple people I know personally. They tried getting me into this whole, you're going to make all this money. I'm like, dude, that's definitely a scam.
The CoffeeZilla just, he exposed some freaking big one with Trader's Domain.
Okay.
Trader's Domain is one that's currently being investigated. The whole crypto thing is bullshit.
It's a
fucking pyramid scheme.
Absolutely.
If you look at it, it's a fucking pyramid. Like, the fact that blew up, went anywhere, just
They're
shows.
still saying Bitcoin's going to hit 80,000.
Oh my God, it's going to be the biggest fucking thing.
I mean, it's the huge pyramid scheme. But like you said, I mean, California, that state is one of...
It is a very profitable business.
Absolutely, it is.
Because there are plenty of gullible people still out there in the world who have a lot of money to part their way with.
Listen, there's people that don't even have a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. That's just it.
They loan money to do this kind of stuff.
Right?
I mean, it's kind of crazy, but why do they crack down on that shit?
Right?
They crack down on catching people that are illegally selling body parts, but they don't want to crack down on people ripping honest people off.
Well, I mean, they didn't even crack down on the people selling the body parts.
No,
I mean,
exactly. That's what I said. Exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They don't crack down on that, but they want to crack down on the people
I see what you're
that
saying.
are ripping
the
off
people
everyday
who are just
people.
ripping off idiots. Listen, yeah, I mean, well, but that's just what they do. See, the problem is they're pissed off because that stops them from stealing from
Exactly. Well, they're not making it. Exactly.
That's the problem.
They're upset because they're taking their tax money. Yeah. There's no tax on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Because nobody. There's no. I mean, they try to tax it, but good luck with that.
I mean, look at you want to talk about because they can't make money off of it. That's why fucking pot isn't legal and isn't recreational in Pennsylvania because they haven't figured out a way to make sure they are the ones that are only getting the money from it.
Listen, they don't want to make it recreational across the country because they had to close half the jails.
Well.
I mean, Biden
They'd have a lot. Well, yeah.
Biden's crime bill put people in jail for a dime bag.
Right.
I mean,
he was very.
Yeah.
He was such a very good backer of that fucking crime bill.
It was called the Biden crime bill.
Right.
That's
for how many years? Up until
2015 or 17. Yeah. Then he had to change the name. They want to talk about. They put so many people in prison over bullshit,
right?
And they're still in prison.
Still,
they wrecked families. Then they give them the double whammy. They tell them, "Well, we took your dad away, but now we're going to give you a college loan."
They pumped it into those communities.
By the way, you're not going to be able to pay the college loan. So
yeah, exactly. The fucking CIA pumped that shit into those cities. They brought it across the border with the fucking cartels, moved it into the cities, got those people addicted to it. Broke those fucking families, twisted those kids' fucking heads, started a perpetual motion machine of violence in this country, and then want to act like, oh, we need to get stricter with shit.
We're the saviors.
No, we need to get you fuckers away from all of this so we can try and put out the fucking fires that you have had burning for fucking decades.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they've been, it's just a rinse and repeat.
And I mean, you want to talk about fucking Biden and drugs. I mean, look at what did they find in the White House this weekend?
No, they found Hunter's stash.
Which, dude, there was a fucking article. They had to make mention of where Hunter was at. Hunter was there to leave with Daddy Dearest to go fucking camping for the 4th of July weekend.
Listen, this shouldn't be a fucking this big drawn out case.
No,
the
whole cocaine. It was in the fucking White House. Who fucking who?
And not only that, the White House is under 24-hour surveillance. You ain't gonna tell me they don't already know whose that is.
Exactly.
They know whose that is. Dude. It's somebody they don't want you to tell who it is.
Exactly.
So they need to put their story together.
Yep.
Get their scapegoat.
Oh, I love, dude, what they're doing to these fucking the press bitch and the other douchebag.
Yeah.
That douchebag that threw her under the bus the other day when he walked away.
I didn't. When he left the press
they started
conference.
fucking asking questions and he
just
didn't
left.
want to answer. He's like, nah, you know what? I don't feel like it. I'm out. Hey, she'll handle it.
What cracks me up is they bitched every time that if when the Trump press secretary's got an attitude with the reporters and call them out on their shit.
Yeah.
But they can't even do that. They just leave because they can't. There's so much shit they got to deal with. Their head can't even comprehend it. They just walk away.
And they can't even keep the lie straight.
He sat there for like 25 or 30 seconds, but looked like an idiot with a smug look on his face and looked brain dead, and he just walks away. It's ridiculous. I mean. Come on.
Well, I mean,
when you got to shovel that much shit, I guess I'd get tired too.
Yeah. The hip waiters, they can only do so much.
Yeah. I think it was still comical that they. I mean, have you ever heard of drugs in the White House any other time? I've never heard of it at all.
Oh no, there's a history of it.
Oh really?
Oh fuck yeah,
no
dude.
Shit.
If you look into it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, people like Elvis partied at the fucking White House. People like Snoop Dogg, this day, Kanye West. Dude, you're not telling me that those motherfuckers didn't take blunts and shit like that.
Yeah.
You're not telling me that they had any kind of fucking respect for the actual White House because they know how much of a fucking joke it is.
Well, I guess
because they are also in on the whole fucking charade of it all. But, I mean, dude, back to Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe was doing fucking Quaaludes with fucking Kennedy. In all reality,
that cocaine honestly, was probably just Joe Biden's.
Right.
That's what keeps him
what's
up
keeping
past his bedtime. Because his bedtime's probably like 4:30, 5 o'clock.
keeping him up. That's what they give him just so he can go out and put. That's why he can't put a full sentence together.
Yeah, he's so doped up.
Yeah, they've just got him running on fucking amphetamine.
They should just all take a drug test so we can actually see whose it is.
Well, I mean, that's the problem. There would be too many people that would show up with trace amounts of cocaine in their system. So the ability to do that is out the window as well. I mean, I'm sure that like the Secret Service, who give their oath and to the American people to protect that douchebag, you know what I mean? I'm sure that's exactly what the fuck they want to be wasting their time investigating is.
Well, listen, like I said, that thing's all under 24-hour surveillance.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not.
No.
It takes 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, they can know whose that is.
Right.
Look on the
fact that
cameras.
They have cameras and they have
the drugs
cameras hidden in their cameras.
The drugs are here this time.
Yeah.
Let's move back an hour. Yep, they're still there. Go back another. Yep, they're still there.
Yeah.
Another half hour up. They're gone.
Yeah.
All right, we zoned it into an hour here. Let's see who's walking in this place.
To me, it comes across as more of a distraction.
That's exactly what it is.
Because of everything else going on, because of everything else that's out there. That I mean, the stuff with the Biden, with the stuff against Hunter Biden, all that shit.
Yeah.
They needed another thing to kind of just keep kicking the can down the road.
Yeah, but I don't think putting cocaine was the best idea.
Well, I mean, but it's par for the course.
Yeah.
Like, well, to me, that reeks of like whoever is handling Biden want to be rid of him.
Yeah.
So they're all right. This is it. We're done. Like, we're just gonna start letting the bad shit out now. Like,
He probably traded that bag of cocaine for a couple state secrets.
hey,
That's what I would. That's what
who
I
was
think
in town
happened.
this weekend?
Yeah, exactly.
What country? What country was
Yeah.
in town this weekend?
Give me a little dime. Give me a little 8-ball coke, and I'll give you some state secrets here.
Well, and that's just it. When it's tied to something that he was so adamant about being against in his crime bill shows up in his White House. Yep. I mean,
Listen,
who's to say that the crack rock that he was fucking holding wasn't his back in the day?
Listen,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
He wants to fucking sit there and show this amount of fucking crack.
His own kid would be in jail 100 times over by now.
Well, yeah. I mean, if he was a different skin color.
Exactly.
And that's pretty much what he made very clear in his own speech in a roundabout way. I mean,
absolutely.
How many times has
he's
he
the biggest
slipped up and said racist shit?
Oh yeah, look when he did that interview with Charlemagne Lagarde. If you don't know, if you vote for him, you ain't black.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, are you kidding me?
Or the educated kids, or I'm sorry, the inner city kids, or the will get the same education as white kids.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Like fucking.
Thank
you, Corey.
Yeah,
poor kids are just as smart
Yeah.
as white kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's just too fucking many of them.
Exactly. I mean, he's like I said, he's one of the biggest racists out there.
Yeah.
And
these are the people that they want to put out there in front of us
But the problem
to let
is-
us know that to make it look like things are okay.
Well, the thing is, they always give the guy. Why is the NAACP giving him the pass? Why are BLM giving him a pass? They all give him a pass on it.
Because of the Obama of it all. Obama.
They gave him a pass. He was
but that's what I'm saying.
Racism all came back under his presidency. It got worse.
Right.
We were going in the right direction. He completely did a 180 and turned us back around.
Right. But
Then,
he
you know
is
what?
the one
We didn't get
that's-
enough life out of this racism bullshit. We need to turn this ship around. We need to get some more. We needed some more traction out of this.
But they needed that to get rid of the class war that was coming.
Yeah.
The middle, what they call the middle and the lower class, were banding together around 2008 when the whole housing market bullshit happened and the Occupy Wall Street movement started. There was major traction to where we were going to start looking like France does now back then. But they were able to control the narrative due to the rise of social media and getting everybody more worried about their own bullshit and less focused on coming together.
I mean, what do you think they would do if we actually could get together, Asians, blacks, whites, and just come together as Americans and turn the tides on these guys? guys.
Well, they
I mean,
would.
they wouldn't know
would
what
activate the next protocol.
They would absolutely
They
have
would
to.
have to activate the next
You think
protocol.
COVID was bad? You'd see COVID 2.0.
Right, and
I
that's
mean-
what they're trying to get. There's some grumblings that looks like what's coming around to 2025.
Yeah.
Like that there's another, like, because if you see how bad things are going off the rails, more and more people are getting smarter to shit. They're
Well-
realizing that my neighbor is my neighbor.
Exactly.
If I help my neighbor, I'm helping myself because
If I
I'm
take
building
care of
a
my
better
neighbor, my
community.
neighbor takes care of me.
Exactly.
You know, that's what they exactly. You know, but I just love that. I mean, I hope in my lifetime I can see it. That's all
Well,
I have to say.
I mean, I can't see things going the way they have for decades. I can't see them continuing this way for any longer than another decade. I mean, because we're at a tip. We passed the tipping point. We're going overboard. And the ship will right itself because that's the way, there's something about this plane of existence that we're on where there's always the karma of it where.
Yeah, but it's been going on forever, and
But again, there is that.
these big names have been getting bigger and bigger the whole time.
They have.
I mean, look at J.P. Morgan Chase, or J.P. Morgan. I mean, look at
He goes all the way back to that Titanic.
exactly.
Yeah.
All the way back to the Titanic. Did the Titanic actually sink, or was it the Olympic?
Well.
You know, there's a lot. I seen that on a Facebook reel, but you know, I kind of thought it was bullshit, and then I
Yeah.
started looking it up, and then I
Right.
got you looking it up. And
Yep.
You tell me what you think.
I'm thinking that it looks more like the Titanic was not the one at the bottom of that ocean.
That's right.
And that's why you only want a very limited supply of people able
Going
to go
down there and
down
looking
there
at
to
it.
look at
Exactly.
it. But now, in regards to the Titanic and in looking into all this shit, it seems like this whole fucking Ocean Gate bullshit was them going and fucking with the lines that are down there. There's communication lines that run right across where the fuck they were down looking for these people. There's shit down there that they could fuck with, that could fuck with all of our communications between the world down at the bottom of that ocean. And they were messing around in the area where specific lines run.
Yeah.
So to me, that looks more like you needed an excuse to be fucking around there. And because of the Internet of Things and the fact that people can see, oh, hey, there's a sub fucking around over here. Why the fuck is that sub fucking around? You needed a story, so you manufactured a story. Not only did they manufacture a story, but there's some fucking weird fucking shit involved in that story to where it involves some biblical shit, the mythology behind some of the names and shit.
That whole
like,
story to me, like, how do you? I think this whole thing's bullshit too, because there's not one video of them getting in the sub.
Right.
I mean,
They're billionaires. They're gonna have something to post on fucking social
that
media.
17 or 19-year-old
show their-
didn't take a social media snap of himself getting on the sub. Hey, look at me! I'm going to see the Titanic.
There ain't no.
There's nothing.
Fucking way.
There's no video. There's no pictures of them, you know, in the sub. There's no video of them getting in the sub. There's nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Especially when you consider the people that were going on this trip. It wasn't just
No, it wasn't a Joe Schmo.
Schmoes.
Exactly.
It wasn't. It's There's just there's too much fucky shit, and there's too much fucky shit tied to that area.
Oh, exactly. Well, yeah. Look, that Titanic sinking. Was one of the biggest insurance scams.
Oh fuck yeah.
Probably if you take out what kind of money that equates to, and you know this time, you know, now currently, that's probably a shitload of money.
Oh,
you're
fuck
talking about billions of dollars.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's just a lot of crazy stuff going on there.
Yeah. There and it was one of those things where the story even back then was manufactured and curated to get rid of the people who were against the creature of Jekyll Island.
Exactly.
The Federal Reserve.
Well, yeah, J.P. Morgan just happened to get sick.
Right.
But then he was seen days later at a party.
Yeah.
So was he really sick, or did he? No, he didn't want to be on that boat because they knew that who owned that boat. J.P. Morgan owned that boat with a partner, and they collected a ton of insurance money when that thing sank.
Well, it's even better than that. They took out just like and the whole history rhyming thing. They followed the same MO that The guy who owned the towers did.
Oh, yeah,
You know how he increased the
He took
insurance policy?
the day before.
Yeah. They did the same thing to the boat, to the Olympic, before they needed to. But on the Titanic,
because they
before
crashed the
claimed it.
Olympic, and couldn't get insurance on that.
Yeah. Well, it was that a Navy vessel had hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Navy vessel they were testing to see if it was unsinkable. From the way I understand this is that it wasn't just some random crash. They were trying to say that this thing was going to be unsinkable, and then they fucked up. They fucked around, and then they found out.
Yeah. Well, they definitely found out, that's for sure.
But I mean, they got away with it. I mean,
of course they did.
It's
because
still,
nobody would ever think that was gonna. Nobody would ever think somebody's gonna do something like that.
And back then, you didn't have. That was basically the first time that still images were being made. You know, we'd only had still images for about 50, 60 years, late 1800s. I don't fucking know when pictures. God damn it. We had just gotten moving pictures around that time.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that the news and information was so much easier to control back then.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I mean, it was to be able to read was a big thing back then. Yeah. Illiteracy, like we take advantage of the fact that we can read anything we fucking want to in this day and age. But back then, like, knowledge is power. So being able to read means you can think for yourself because you can read and you can understand critically. Well, I mean, I'm sorry. Back up. Critical thinking is different than being able to read. Being able to read something and then critically think about it and figure out where the bullshit of it lies, that's what they don't want. They don't want an informed public. So they started this whole misinformation, disinformation, fake news bullshit to get everybody to where you could see some shit that looks made up, but it's completely fucking real. And then you can see some shit that should be real, but is completely fucking made up.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, that's why it takes people talking, people communicating. Like, to not want to communicate or talk about these type of topics, these types of things, that's how they win. That's how they get away with it, is because they make it unattractive to talk about these topics. I mean, they make it to where everybody just wants to talk about the newest bullshit that's coming across their feed from some random person instead of talking about issues that are actually
and listen,
of substance.
The media is good at helping them deflect stuff too with bullshit stories.
Yes. Oh, fuck
They're excellent at doing that.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, we have proven that the media, all of your major news networks, might as well just be labeled state media at this point. Instead of just media, they should be state-funded media.
Oh, absolutely.
And it should all be looked at as propaganda. I mean, if you can find someone that's just giving you information, take that information. Take opinions and throw it the fuck out, especially when it comes to the fucking news. Like, taking news and giving information, that's what they should be doing. Not out there helping agendas and greasing the gears of a corrupt machine.
Well, that's exactly what they're going to do. I mean, they're like, I always say that the biggest threat to democracy is the media. That's what I believe.
Yeah,
because they don't tell this. They don't tell you the news. They tell you their opinion of the news.
Well, the 24
hour
dangerous. The 24-hour news cycle went into effect. Perfect timing right before 9/11. I mean, growing up in the 90s, there was still a time where you only had the news in the morning and in the afternoon. The rest of your day just existed for you to do whatever you wanted to do and to be a conscious creator in your own way. You would wake up, you would find out what kind of world you were... Well, but see, in that regard, they also controlled it because they shaped the world that you then went out into, because you would wake up, you would watch the news, you would find out what your world was for the day, and then you would go out into that world. And then you would come back home, and then after dinner, they had the nightly news where you'd find out what happened during the day while you were away. That would then shape you for the next day. So, I mean, it's all been programming, even the news back then. Especially when you look at the way they all had, where they parroted the same news stories. We have Conan O'Brien to thank for making those popular when he took all those videos and would make those awesome clips. The only thing, like, it's scary. If you take the laugh track off of those videos and you pay attention to what they're doing, it's fucking downright creepy the way they parrot the same narrative.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can do it now. Just look at all the news agents. Like you said, they all say the same thing.
It's word
We're here
for
to give
word.
you equal and honest, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Fair and balanced.
Yeah,
Fair
exactly.
and
Yeah,
balanced.
exactly.
Fair and
yeah.
balanced. Yeah.
It's all bullshit.
It's all fucking bullshit.
Let's talk about, I mean, too, another big contention's guns.
Yeah.
I mean, we had, more mass shootings over the weekend.
Well, not even just the weekend. We had the 4th of July
Or 4th of
holiday.
July, I mean, yeah.
And, I mean...
And, in particular, I want to talk about Philadelphia.
Okay.
Because, you got District Attorney there, Larry Krasner.
Yeah.
Goes on national TV and says it's disgusting the lack of proper gun legislation we have in PA. I mean, listen, I don't want to see anybody get shot.
Right.
But it has nothing to do with gun laws.
No.
Because, what's disgusting is Larry's inability to prosecute people that are caught with guns
Okay.
and let them back out on the street numerous times.
Yeah.
That's what's pathetic.
Yeah.
In Philadelphia, their conviction rates, they're horrendous. They went from, in 2015, the conviction rate was 65%. In 2020, it's 42%.
So
we can only convict 42% of the gun. This is
the
just
amount
gun.
of people. So
This is just gun crimes.
of the gun crimes of the people that they're arresting. So they're bringing them in for a gun crime.
Correct. The
But
police are doing their job.
Right.
And they're arresting these people.
Yes.
And they're convicting 42% of them.
So now, is it that there is not enough? Is it that the police were wrong in arresting these people, or is it that that they didn't actually commit a crime? You know what I'm saying? Or is it that because isn't Philly? They're the ones who really wanted to be able to pull someone over just for having a gun in their car.
Stop and frisk.
Yeah,
They want to do that. They can't do that anymore because disproportionately it was black people they were messing with.
So and then that's just because that's the city. That's the population of the city. It's not that it's if you go to a predominantly Hispanic neighborhood, you're probably going to be arresting a more predominantly Hispanic
absolutely.
population.
But so they made that argument too that the cops weren't doing their job.
Okay.
That's what
okay.
they blamed it on. But the dismissal rate was 49%. It was 25% in 2015, but in 2020, it's 49%.
Oh.
So they dismissed double what they did in 2015.
Yeah, so they're just
So
not
apparently
even-
from 2015 to 2020, I guess all the Philadelphia Police Department forgot how to do their job.
Right.
This is what the district attorney's trying to say.
Well, now the
we want
chief, the head, the lady. She seems like she knows what she's doing.
the police chief?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
She's, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But
Yeah.
so this Larry Krasner,
Okay.
he wants us to write more gun laws. You can't even enforce the ones we have. Why do you want to write more?
Well, because to infringe on more people who are already abiding by the law, they need to make new laws to make new criminals.
I mean, this guy.
he wants criminals to be a specific type.
I believe the district attorney's an elected position. Last I knew.
Yeah.
So your job. You swore an oath to protect the people of that city.
Yeah.
And you're failing them every day by a 50% margin.
And when's his
You
name?
want to talk
When's he up
about
for re-election?
I don't know. You want to talk about disgusting? To me, if you want to talk about disgusting, you should look in the mirror, and that's your name. It's disgusting.
Right.
Look in the mirror. You're what's disgusting.
Yeah.
He gets up on stage. He blames the police.
Yeah.
No, buddy, you're not getting the job done.
Exactly.
They're bringing you cases, and you're dismissing 49% of them.
Exactly. Across this country, it seems more like once they're in the court systems, that's where the problem lies.
I mean, let's take this Kim Brady character.
Okay.
In 2000, I think it was 2003,
Yeah. Yeah. It was.
he was charged with 2 gun crimes,
Yeah.
which should have been a maximum of 14 years in prison and $30,000 worth of fines.
And what did he get?
And he was out. I think he was out the following year.
Yeah.
So I guarantee
And
they
I think he was made to pay $1,000.
$300.
Yeah.
$300.
Oh, okay.
$300 he paid.
Yeah.
A whopping $300 fine, case closed.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about just disgusting that we don't have more gun laws?
Right.
You know, you go over to New Jersey, they were ranked 17th in the country
Okay.
in gun crime. Now, this was back, I think it was 2019, because
Yeah.
that's the only thing I could find.
Yeah.
And we were ranked 16th.
Okay.
So Jersey has way more gun laws than we do.
Yeah.
And they're 17th, we're 16th. So, I mean.
But yet he wants to claim they're doing it better than we are.
He wants to claim they're doing a better job and we're disgusting because we don't have these gun laws.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter, Larry, because you're never going to enforce them anyways.
Right.
So that's the disgusting part. And then his excuse is there have to be consequences for those who. That's the wrong one.
Wonder how much he gets paid.
So
that's disgusting. His salary is probably disgusting.
They talk about him, charging these people, and this is his answer why they dismiss these cases.
Yeah.
What's their theory? That rather than go vigorously after the people who actually shoot the gun, Mr. Krasner asked that we should take 100 people and put them in jail because one of them might shoot somebody. So we find 100 people that are illegally carrying weapons.
Right.
And you don't think those are the people? Some of them that are maybe not all of them. There might be 50% of them that are good, but it doesn't matter. You broke the law.
Right.
You're not allowed to illegally carry a gun.
Right.
If you want to carry a gun, go get your permit and do it the right way. Exactly.
It's not like Pennsylvania makes it that hard
Exactly.
to get a permit or anything like that.
So he'd rather not go after them people. Let's go after the people that are actually shooting people.
Right.
Well, guess what? Some of those people are the ones doing it.
Right.
Exactly. I guarantee you there's
if
a
you
large
take those
percentage of
people
them
off the street, you're going to lower those statistics.
Exactly. Then
It's common fucking sense.
Yeah, you have Danielle Outlaw. Now that's the police commissioner.
Okay.
There have to be consequences. For
Wait. Her last name is Outlaw?
Outlaw, yeah.
That's just irony.
It is pretty funny. There have to be consequences for those who are carrying and using these weapons, these guns illegally. If I go out and get this gun knowing nothing's going to happen to me, why would that preclude me from doing anything else illegal with the gun?
Right.
Exactly. If you know you're not going to enforce that law, what's to say you're not going to drop the case when he holds up the liquor store?
Exactly. Just because he didn't pull the trigger.
Exactly.
He didn't shoot anybody.
Maybe
he held it up. He stole the money.
I
but
guarantee if you enforce the laws,
Yeah.
number one, you're going to have half the people on the street that shouldn't be on there, that should be in jail in the first place.
Yeah.
That's a lot less chance you're going to have of them shooting anybody up.
Yeah.
And then when so why are we going to make more laws if we can't enforce the ones we already have?
Right.
The only people that are going to follow them laws are the people that are actually law-abiding citizens.
Right.
The criminals aren't going to follow them anyway. So you can make 100 laws.
All it does.
You can ban guns altogether, and they'll still have them.
The problem is that what they're trying to do is they're trying to create new criminals, like people who are perfectly good, law-abiding citizens. They want to turn them into criminals because they need to demon and vilify.
Oh yeah, and if you got one of them that doesn't have I guarantee you that Larry Krasner is as much of a piece of shit as he is.
Yeah.
I bet you he probably goes through that list and says, "Oh, you know what? This guy doesn't have any priors. We're going to convect them.
We need this guy to have a record.
This dirtbag,
we need that person to have a record. We need to ruin lives.
This dirtbag here had 3 charges of illegal guns, and
He's
we
already
left him
in
out.
our system.
We left him out. We left him out every time.
Yeah.
So you know what? We might as well just let him out another time. Let's go after the people that aren't actually committing crimes and keep. How would you like to be a cop?
Yeah.
And you arrest the same dirtbag
over
3 or 4
over.
times.
Yeah.
That's a violent criminal.
Yeah.
That I bet you these cops know some of these criminals by looking at them. They probably know them on a first name basis.
Absolutely.
How do you think they feel having to know that this guy carries a gun?
Exactly.
Is this going to be the time he uses it on me?
Yeah.
Because you have a dirtbag that can't do his job
Yeah.
and convict these people and put them in prison where they belong.
Who gets to hide
Who gets to
behind-
go up on stage
Yeah.
and talk about it's disgusting what I'm gun laws.
Yeah.
When that same piece of garbage can't even enforce the laws he's already got at his fingertips.
Exactly.
That he could hold these people accountable.
Right.
But he decides not to do it.
No.
So we're going to make more laws? What are those laws going to do?
Well, like I said, just make new criminals.
All he's
instead of
doing,
taking care of the
you know what he's
actual
doing? He's
criminals.
demoralizing the whole police force.
Yeah.
That's all he's doing.
Yeah.
He's just a piece of shit that needs to be. They were talking about impeaching him. I don't know why it's not done already.
Well, I mean, it's a process. I'm sure they'll get to it. Hopefully, they get to it. Because it
Maybe
sounds like if they're headed in that direction, I mean,
And-
that right there.
And then they try to spin this. They try to spin it that, oh, this guy was upset about his Second Amendment rights being violated.
Oh,
No, maybe if you look at the guy, if you look at his Facebook,
yeah.
he's an activist in the BLM.
Okay.
And he dresses in women's clothes.
Okay.
So that's a little weird to me.
Yeah.
No, you don't have anybody talking about that.
Sounds like you might have some mental health issues that need to be addressed.
Exactly. That's exactly what it sounds like. So what are we doing about that? So what do you think? Do you think Biden helped this guy, or do you think he buried him too? I wonder if he's got maybe he's mental in the head because he went to college for 4 years and he came out of college with unlimited debt, or maybe his dad. He didn't grow up with a dad
Because his
of
dad
some
was
bullshit
stuck in
crime
jail
bill.
because of fucking some crime bill.
I mean, we want to talk about
A little mistake of fucking using a substance because somebody's life sucked so bad.
exactly puts them in
that-
the system for life. So you know what's disgusting, Larry? It's disgusting that pieces of shit like you prey on these people.
Exactly.
That's what's disgusting.
Absolutely.
Politicians put these people in these positions
Absolutely.
and early on in life.
Yeah.
They take their family away.
Yep.
They take their education away.
Yep.
Then they give them a bullshit education out of college with a huge amount of debt and a loan they know they can't pay back.
Yep.
And then they throw them back out on the streets working at McDonald's when they got an art degree
Yep.
and $100,000 in debt.
Wow, they increase
I wonder
the price of everything.
And then they
print
give
money for themselves.
Then they give them a little bit of money through COVID.
Yep.
And then jack the prices up when COVID's over.
Yep.
And they're all getting fat.
Right.
They're all getting rich.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's-
there isn't a single industry involved in our capitalist society that suffered during COVID.
No.
There isn't a single money-making corporation that had a net loss in the last 3 years.
No, look at the pharmaceuticals. They made a shit ton of. They were supposed to be making the vaccine to help everyone. Bullshit. They got a shit ton of money for that vaccine.
Oh, fuck yeah.
The hospitals got a shit ton of money. That's
Anything that is free has a price
That's why
somewhere.
people crashing their motorcycles and getting decapitated. They were testing them for COVID. What the fuck's it matter if they have COVID? Their head's not attached to their body.
Right.
I think that's how they died.
But hey, if
wait,
they
COVID,
had
we're gonna
that we can put them down as a
We
number.
Put them down as a number, exactly.
It goes right into that whole fucking kill them with statistics.
Yep.
That's exactly that. They had a whole fucking book club. They read their books. They got their knowledge. They rolled out their plan. Their plan went according to plan. I mean, they collected enough data to then move on to the next stage of the plan. The next stage of the plan is coming. It's in full effect. I mean, we're seeing it all around us. They were buying up the fucking... Bill Gates was buying up the farmland. Musk is fucking doing shady shit with trying to fucking put chips in people's heads. Like, you don't want a fucking chip in your head that they can control. That's just fucking moronic. It's bad enough that they have an external one. You don't want... It's bad enough what they can fucking do with sending out radio signals. They can just bounce shit off of people's brains without even having to put something into your head. You can disrupt that with the electromagnetic fields of the planet, but the fucking the bullshit that's going on with pushing towards the control, it's still coming. Unless we all get together and do something about it, it's all going to keep coming. I mean, people who are of the mindset of the American people need to be a free nation to be able to do what we choose as we choose, as long as we don't want to hurt anybody. We need to come together and make sure that that's still a thing in the next few years.
Yeah, if not, because it's slipping away slowly. They're slowly chipping away at it.
Yeah. Well, it's not. It wasn't even. It was very slow. They've been doing it for a century.
Exactly.
They've
been doing it for 200 years.
At least.
So, I mean, and listen, that's why most countries don't last. That's why most democracies fail.
We reconstructed, what, 100 years after?
Yeah.
Or something like that? We went through a reconstruction period. I mean, I think we're well past the expiration date for that. And now, what I'm saying is we don't need to fuck with the Constitution. Those rules were pretty simple. They were pretty fucking standard.
It's amazing how they came up with that.
Well, it was
247 years ago.
When you tie it
try to
into
fuck it
the
up
Ten
every day.
Commandments, I mean, it is kind of it does relate back to just the basics of rules is all we need as a fucking people. And then as long as you take those few rules and you live your life without wanting to hurt or control or like fuck with someone else, you should be able to do it.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, that's what it's all about. That's what this country's all about. Being able to prosper.
Yeah.
You know, don't fuck with anybody else. Just do your own thing.
Yeah.
And enjoy your life.
Exactly.
Enjoy your family. I mean, people that are watching this, they probably think some of this stuff we talk about is crazy.
Oh, dude,
or it's
yeah,
off.
absolutely.
Listen, look it up.
Look it up.
If you have anything, if you have anything you want us to discuss,
yeah, leave it in the comments.
Leave it in the comments.
Absolutely. We are now on all. I forgot to mention at the beginning of the podcast, but we are on all podcasting platforms, major podcasting platforms. We are now on Apple Podcasts. We're on Amazon Music. We're on Spotify, of course, YouTube.
And don't forget,
Rumble.
Share, like, and share it with your friends. Like it, leave a comment. Give you have anything you want us to talk about. Let us know.
Spread the word.
And just shout out Sound of Freedom opened up July 4th.
Absolutely.
Should go watch that movie.
Yes.
Support that.
Absolutely. Tim Ballard, Operation Underground Railroad. Jim Caviezel's in it. Jesus Christ himself came out. He was finally able to get back to what he loves doing because of the shit he saw when he was in the Hollywood system. They smeared him. He was unable to get work after making such an impactful film, and it's great that this film looks like it could have the same impact if people actually are willing to put their eyes out there and see it.
People need to wake up and see what's going on in this country.
Absolutely, because it's not going to go away just by ignoring it.
Come on, man. It's a state of stupidity.
It's a state of stupidity.
State of stupidity.
That's just a state of stupidity.
State of stupidity.
I believe it's a state of stupidity.
They want you to believe it's the state of stupidity.
I told him, I said it's a state of stupidity.